What's going on? It's your dog Art Man the Great. We're back with another boxing conversation. Yeah, man. Shit's getting real. Shit's getting super real. This might just be the best boxing year ever. Or the best year in boxing, I should say. Because we got all these great ass fights. Great fucking fights, man. And we're gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it. I'm glad that boxing is going in the way direction it's going right now. It shows my pockets, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been working, man. I definitely been working, making some good paintings, man. So we definitely cooking, man. Talking about this boxing shit, man. I know everybody seen that deal. Canelo Alvarez signs with the PBC, and that shit got the haters looking like it's making folks repent. That shit's so funny too. Now folks are like, well, the PBC, I don't care about none of that. The only thing I care about is just the fights being made and da. Man, these people, they try to backtrack. We gonna definitely get into that shit. Said Canelo. Said clown now ain't fighting all these dudes, bro. Don't get too happy. And that's the thing. I know. Trust me, I ain't happy saying, oh, this nigga will fight all of them. Nah. I don't even think he gets past one of them. Bro, let's be real. Canelo's a human fucking being. You know what I'm saying? A small guy. He's not the Hulk. I honestly don't believe he's gonna fight Charlo, fight Andre, fight fucking Benavidez, Spence all back to back. Like hell no, hell no, not at all. In my mind, I think he's gonna fight Charlo and have a tough competitive fight with him, and probably even lose or get stopped in that fight, and then run it back and probably lose that shit again. Or probably edge it on the cards and then move on to fight Spence at a catchweight. I don't see this guy going through all that. Hell no. Hell the fuck no. But he gonna try. I think Canelo was in a situation where it's like his back is against the ropes type shit. Like it's not something that he chose to do. As we can see, he tried to exercise his options fighting Bobby Jack and shit like that. Macaboo. I don't see him getting past Charlo at all. I really don't. We're gonna talk about it. We definitely gonna talk about it. I was laughing talking to Canelo fans about the fight, and I was like, dude, I don't think motherfucking Canelo's gonna be able to get past this guy, Charlo. Folks are saying, "Oh, well, Charlo haven't fought in 2 years. He haven't fought in 2 years." So I'm asking fans. So are you telling me that Canelo's keys to victory in this fight is just hoping that Charlo is fucking not ready and he has ring rust? Is that y'all plan? Y'all plan is to hope that Charlo comes into this fight not prepared? Because what if he shows up prepared? Then what? How does it go? Why does it play out? You got to give me more detail here, y'all. Y'all can't just say, "Oh, he hasn't fought in 2 years," because I haven't seen Mayweather didn't fight in 2 years, came back and had a great performance. And even though Keith Thurman, he came back, and even though he was a little rusty against Josecito Lopez, he still won the fight convincingly. It wasn't no draw. It wasn't no robbery. You know, some fighters just got it in them, man, where they're just naturally gifted. I feel like fighters like Charlo is naturally gifted. His athleticism is natural. His speed is natural. His strength is natural. It's nothing like shit like that. Just don't disappear. It don't disappear at all. Shout out to my dude D Hive, man. Long time no see, man. What's going on, brother, man?
Yeah, man, what's up? Just been running around and trying to make some business stuff happen. But nah, yeah, the schedule that's been dropped has been excellent. And two things I want to make clear. Number one, if Spence and Crawford had already gotten made, we most likely would have had this schedule regardless. They just couldn't make all this boxing, not knowing what those two were gonna do. Now that they got them pinned down, they can feel free to align the rest of the divisions up because that was the biggest piece of business.
Yeah, because niggas, a whole bunch of niggas didn't have fights lined up, but their turn to fight, but they were just waiting for that fight to be announced.
Exactly. So a lot of things were revolving around that fight. Number two, it's very important that we understand that Bud and his supporters have pretty much been incorrect about everything leading up to this saga. It's important that we acknowledge that they have been wrong at pretty much every step of the goddamn journey. Like from start to finish, they have been incorrect about everything. So all those dudes that y'all be listening to, all the weird PBC conspirators, like what do they have to say? I mean, DAZN's last fight was what? Deverenchenko versus Munguia? That y'all gonna be getting a bunch more of that. That's it.
I know what they're saying, D High. Let's not talk about all that. Let's talk about the fight. Y'all can't run right now. Y'all can't talk about resumes now because they fighting. That's the response I've been getting from Bud fans is let's skip over all the bullshit we're saying and let's just talk about the fight. Which I understand. I understand, but they're not going to take accountability and say, man, I ain't going to lie, we kind of fucked up.
I wouldn't mind them talking all that bullshit, but at the same time, they're trying to go back in time and undo shit Bud has already done. It's like, no. He's a coward. He ran from the first fight, and I stand by what I said. The only reason why we get in this fight is because the Avanesian bag was bullshit. The Avanesian bag was trash. It wasn't even close to 10 million. I don't think. Of course, I have no exact calculations, but I'm pretty confident if it was 10 million, we wouldn't be getting this fight.
I'm pretty up 10 fucking million, bro. And these niggas really sat there and said, well, see, BLK doing things the right way. They trying to pay their man up front. Al Heyman ain't doing nothing like that. Al Heyman's the problem here.
And they said, oh, Bob Arum confirmed it. He confirmed all 10 million was paid up in front. When the fuck did Bob confirm any of that bullshit? Man, somebody just said some shit and y'all were like, yeah, he. The thing is, the reason why y'all were so fucking distracted is because you were happy he wasn't fighting Spence. Have y'all noticed that now that the fight is made, all that Bud stop Spence talked and went out the window?
No, I still hear a couple Bud stopping Spence. I'm hearing that still.
I haven't seen anybody. I've seen maybe like this, like maybe like Ron Boy don't count. He thinks Bud stops Jesus Christ, so I don't count him. But all the other Bud fans that had Bud stopping Spence, they've kind of been like, I need to make some adjustments now.
What I've been hearing though, D Hive from them is, oh well, Spence, he think he gonna go there and out muscle Bud. Bud gonna do this, Bud gonna do that, but there's no legit.
Bud wrestled in high school.
Bud wrestled in high school.
All right,
nigga. And Bud running in the snow, nigga. I'm like, bro, what is Bud's keys to victory in this goddamn fight?
Landing one shot and knocking Spence out. That's all they talk about.
That's all they talk about.
landing one uppercut, hoping Spence goes to sleep. That's about it.
Like when I'm discussing this with fans, like I'm talking about like certain things I see in Spence, like certain moves that he does, certain punches that he throws, and I'm trying to break it down to the best of my abilities. When it comes to Bud fans, they just saying, "Well, Bud, he's just special. He just built different.
Yeah,
he just built different. Like that's it."
Yeah, Bud wrestled in high school, and he's got one good punch, and Spence gonna go to sleep. I'm like, yeah, that's what you hoping. Basically, you're saying that Spence has more paths to victory than Bud does, and it's okay to be scared now that the fight's here. Now that you done talked, like what 4 or 5 years worth of shit. It's cool to be concerned, but now that it's here, you just gotta be more realistic with your money. So that's all that means. You just gotta be more realistic or were you actually putting your money on it?
Yeah. And I like Bud versus Spence, but I ain't gonna lie, that's a great fight right there. But my eyes is really on that Canelo versus Charlo for real because I've been waiting for that shit longer than Spence versus Crawford.
If we get it, I mean, like I said, what if the deal is fucking Shishkin and some other shit?
I know, and that's what I'm thinking, bro. I'm thinking like Nix is like, hold on now. They didn't say Charlo. We just thinking that.
They said 3 fights. They didn't say who. And my thing is too. Imagine that gauntlet. Like people are talking about 3 fights. I'm like, if Canelo really lined up Charlo, Benavidez, and Andrade, what is the likelihood that he survives all 3 fights?
Man, I got this Mexican dude on my fucking timeline saying that Canelo's gonna beat all three. I
That
said,
is
bro, are you
highly
fucking crazy?
unlikely.
Like, I get it. I get it. You like Canelo, bro. I get it. You think, oh, because Charlo hasn't fought in a long time and Benavidez don't got the resume like Canelo. Bro, nigga, it's not that. I hope you know it's not that, bro. It took a lot of strategic planning to get Canelo in the position that he's in today. Not skills, but they gonna see.
Like like the best versions of Canelo that they've ever seen didn't want to fight these people. And now that even Canelo fans are trying to claim that Canelo is washed, suddenly he takes the most dangerous fights of his entire career. Because don't get it twisted, David Benavidez, I understand he's been fighting a long time and y'all been hearing his name for a few years, but David Benavidez is only like 25 years old. Like don't be confused. Let me, I'm looking it up right now. Let me make sure I'm not fucking that up. David, oh, he's 26. Yeah, sorry. David Benavidez is only 26 years old. So don't get it twisted thinking, oh, he's still like, I understand y'all been hearing his name for a while, but he's still an incredibly young man. So, as far as Charlo, that just depends on which Charlo shows up. The Charlo that fought Sergey shows up might pull some shit off. If, regular old or ring rush Charlo shows up, it might go left. But it is what it is. But yeah,
But
no.
my thing is, it's like this, D Hop. Folks are looking at Charlo and saying, "Oh, this nigga haven't fought in 2 years." Da 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 da. Have you seen Canelo's fights recently? This nigga been looking like ass. Are we gonna act like that shit's not happening? Are we gonna act like fucking John Ryder of all people didn't have Canelo fucking nose all red as fuck, looking like Rudolph? Had
Y'all
are we gonna forget? Are we gonna forget that this nigga threw every punch in the book on fucking Bivol, a bigger Bivol, and that shit looked like nothing, and he brushed that shit off?
y'all not gonna like it, but if Andrade was in with the version of Canelo that fought Ryder, Canelo would have got his ass whooped.
Definitely.
Y'all not gonna like it, but that's the reality of Canelo's situation. And the thing is, too, y'all can't come at me because I've always had Andrade and Charlo beating Canelo. I always have, especially
Always.
especially at
Always.
154 and 160. At 154, I believe Jamal Charlo might have knocked him the fuck out, but that fight didn't happen for obvious reasons. At 160, I had Charlo getting a reasonable decision, maybe like a MDUD type situation. But now what's up? It's up in the air, especially Charlo moving up in weight. We don't know how the gas tank and the injuries are going to factor in. But even still, I don't see a lot of Canelo fans excited. I still see them saying shit like Charlo don't deserve it. So I'm like, what's the problem? Like, is there still an issue?
Because they know what time it is, D Hive. It's like this. The fight all depends on Charlo. What Charlo shows up to the fight. And folks can talk all this shit online, but they've seen before that talking about somebody online doesn't always resonate in the fucking ring. Because they talked about Bivol and how boring Bivol was, and Bivol went in there and gave Canelo a boring ass whooping.
Yeah, they talked. They talked. It was funny, literally, because that fight happened December the year prior of Canelo fighting Bivol, and everyone's talking about, oh man, Bivol boring. Bivol, he hasn't had a knockout in a while. Who is this guy? The light heavyweight division sucks. As soon as Canelo signs to fight him, all of a sudden Bivol's the ultimate badass who's been a boss forever, but he gonna get knocked out and stopped to the body because he hasn't got a knockout in a while. Man, he whooped his ass for 11 out of 12 rounds. Canelo looked fucking stupid.
Man, they just look. They ignoring all that, and Canelo fans got that little nostalgia thing going on too. I noticed that. Um, Even with that clip of Canelo training, that doesn't look like a recent clip of Canelo Alvarez. That looks like 160 Canelo fucking shadow boxing. But
I
anyway,
don't I don't care about the footage because Canelo always trains the same. Reynoso
I
fighters
know.
always train the same. That's why they always lose to the same type of fighters. I've said how many times I got to say it. Any fighter that can be controlled with a jab is not an A-level fighter.
Any
Sorry.
fighter that doesn't have a jab is not an A-level fighter.
Well, Canelo has a jab. It's not like a triple G jab. It's not like a power jab. It's not used to hurt you. It's used to distract you and disorient you so you can set up for the
So
combo.
it gets hit you with that looping right hand, right
Yeah,
hook.
Canelo got a jab. It's just he can be controlled by a jab. That's his issue.
Nah, when I said I agree with you, I agree, but I'm just looking at Canelo's jab, and that shit's just not up to par. Like, it's not, it's not convincing.
It's not you. Well, that's because, like I said, it's not. He doesn't use it to score points. He uses it to distract you so he can knock you the fuck out. Like people like Triple G that are classical boxers, from the amateur style. People like Mayweather, people like Haney, they use it to keep distance and to score points on you. Canelo just uses it as a distraction because he expects to walk you down all the time, and also because Reynoso has no fucking other strategy. Like he has no other strategy. If he can't walk you down and knock you out, you just got to pray pretty much.
And my thing is with that Charlo versus Canelo, what would you think Canelo's game plan will be in that fight?
Well,
Walk him
definitely
down
try.
and kind of knock him out.
Well, I mean, I would assume so. Definitely target his body, keep both hands up, stay away from the right hand. Don't let him get his jab off. Corner him on the ropes, and then body head like you do a lot of other people. Because it's not going to be a situation where you catch Charlo clean in the middle of the ring and knock him out like he's Amir Khan. That's not going to happen. So, the best bet is going to try to walk Charlo down. Go to the body, avoid his right hand, and then press him up against the ropes. And then just like I said, body head.
My thing is with this is Canelo Alvarez. His best chance to beat Charlo, in my opinion, is for Charlo to lack something, to not throw the jabs, to sit there and gas out, and let Canelo do work on his body and hit him with some left hooks. I just don't. Just watching Charlo over the years, regardless of inactivity, I just don't see him losing to a fighter like Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez doesn't have that many tools in the book to withstand a jab like Charlo's and a right hand coming down the middle that Charlo throws. And that fucking counter uppercut. Oh my God. Can you imagine Canelo getting hit with a counter uppercut like that from Charlo?
Well,
What?
I will say this: at 160, Canelo couldn't knock out a Cole, right? At 168, it appears that he's knocking out a lot of shit. Not recently, of course, fighting slightly bigger people, but he seems to be knocking motherfuckers out. So that's what's going to tell the tale. And also, we got to see if Charlo has an upgrade in power because Charlo's power is already pretty solid at 154, pretty deep. He didn't really get a lot of knockouts at middleweight, but if Charlo come up in there at super middleweight and he thumping, then yeah, Canelo gonna be in some deep shit. Because
That's what got it real wild to me. Just thinking like, is he really fighting Charlo? Because I get it, 2 year layoff, all that. This seems like the right guy to choose. But then you gotta really think about it, nigga. You didn't want to fight this nigga at 154, 160. Now he's gonna be even bigger. Come on now, dude.
and this Jamal Charlo and Devin Haney have the same problem. People don't want to fight them because they don't know which version of them is going to pop up. Like with a Tank or even a Shakur or like a Canelo or Triple G, you pretty much know they're going to be them for for the most part the entire fight. But with people like Charlo, Haney, even fucking Wilder, you don't know which version you get. What if the killer pops up? Then all of a sudden you're gonna get embarrassed. It's gonna be bad for you. So that's why it's just better to not fight them in general.
Man, Canelo fans, they kind of in the loss right now because they don't know what to say. They don't know if to say Charlo don't deserve this fight or Charlo's a bum or to say it's a good W if Canelo beats him. They
I,
don't know what to say, man.
I don't, and like I said, I'm not gonna get too excited because people talking about Benavidez. I'm like, bro, that if Canelo has a 3-fight PBC deal, Benavidez is not gonna be the first on the fucking contract. Like that would make no sense. Like that would be fucking insane. So you know, like I said, I hope it's Charlo. Charlo is definitely his. He has the best chance out of any 3 fighters at PBC in that weight range. He has the best chance of beating Charlo. I will say that. That's the highest probability victory. But we just gotta wait and see. We don't know what they're gonna pull out the bag for his ass.
Watch it be Canelo versus motherfucking what's that nigga name that was supposed to fight Jamal Charlo? Selecki.
Oh, Selecki. Oh my god.
Canelo versus Selecki, and then
God damn.
Canelo versus Caleb Truax, and then Canelo versus Spence.
Like I said, they're gonna have they're gonna have Selecki, Shishkin, and like they'll pull some randoms. I honestly thought Canelo was gonna fight this undefeated Cuban dude, William Skull, his IBF mandatory. But somebody said Skull was cold. I watched two of his fights and I wasn't super convinced. But you know that I trust that person's judgment. So maybe Skull is cold. I don't know. Then again, you don't really need to be cold to beat up on Canelo at this point. So you know,
And that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe this shit might just be a general 50-50 because if you, and also, what type of Canelo's going to show up, too, man? Let's be real, man. If he's getting deals his way, how's that drug testing looking like? We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it.
I mean, I don't even think that PBC would let some drug testing ruin the Canelo sweepstakes. So I'm pretty sure even PBC, if it came down to it, they would, do a little home cooking, slide him the testing schedule ahead of time to make sure that none of that popped up. Because come on now.
Exactly. That shit can ruin the whole situation. Like,
Yeah, so even Heyman and them, even if it costs one of their fighters, all due respect to them, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't let a little thing like drug testing fuck up the Canelo sweepstakes for the whole game.
man, that's one thing I love and hate about this sport. It's like we play by a different rule in this game, man. We definitely do. And when it comes to the money, man, rules get bent. You know what I'm saying? They do. They definitely do.
They'd be back there. They'd be back there in the office, like seeing Canelo juice up, be like, Charlo's a big nigga. He'll survive.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
You see my tweet yesterday when I said, I think the WBC didn't strip Charlo because they knew eventually somehow he'll get this fight, and that will satisfy his WBC mandatory, so he wouldn't have to fight David Benavidez if it came down to it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But even if that wasn't the case, Charlo, whether he's active or inactive, he's one of the bigger names in boxing. That doesn't mean he's a box office star, but people are talking about him. He's always in the news cycle because he was someone that Canelo and his fans saw as a threat. And people are also keeping his name in the news cycle by bitching about his inactivity. So either way, he generates news. People are talking about him, and when he fights, people talk about it. Even when he fought Montiel, good or bad, it was the talk of the town. So he's still one of those champions. It's the same as Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's only real opponent outside of Klitschko has been Wilder. Tyson Fury has fought pretty much nothing but ass, but they haven't stripped him because of his potential to continue to make big fights.
Yep, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, you feel me? But shout out to everybody in the chat. Hold on. Damn, I got all these messages. I wasn't even looking at this.
What's up, Mike Biggs?
Shout out to everybody at Son
NJMP.
Shelton, NGMP, my dude, the good brother Stormy B, man. Hey, speaking of brothers and shit, I'm going to that J-Rock fight tonight, man, in Minneapolis.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
My dude said he got a ticket for me. I ain't paying for that shit, so I'm about to go out there and just watch it.
I feel it. Yeah.
I forgot that Lubin was on the undercard. That's what really makes me want to go now. I've never seen Lubin fight in person. I've seen J-Rock fight. This will be my second time seeing J-Rock fight in person.
Yeah, no, and this is what. And then, did you know that Caleb Truax is also back on this card?
Yeah, but, I ain't gonna lie. In Minnesota, we really don't fuck with Caleb Truax like that because he doesn't live in like the Twin Cities area. He lives in like the greater Minnesota area, and like we don't know that part.
That's fucked up. That's like when niggas say they're from Los Angeles, but they're really from Riverside,
Victorville or some shit.
That's fucked up.
Nah, it's the truth though. But not saying that we don't fuck with him for real, but it's just like he's not like somebody like a household name over here.
No, I get you. That makes sense. And not to mention, because I mean, of all the representatives from Minnesota athletics, I wouldn't pick Caleb Truax either. Just if we're keeping it real, despite him being a former champion.
But who we looking for right now? David Morrell.
Hey man, Benavidez
left a little bit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. Benavidez is looking crazy out here because this is the second time Samson has been on record making Benavidez look shaky. Because the first time when he was talking about a potential Andrade fight, he said we'll take pennies to fight Canelo, but we need $7 million to fight Andrade. What? that doesn't make any actual sense, but okay, let's move on. And then fast forward, he's on tape saying that Morel and Benavidez is already signed in a done deal. They're just waiting on, the date and basically the date and the venue. And fast forward to today, Benavidez says he hasn't agreed to anything and never signed anything. So it's like, okay, Samson, you talking a lot of shit, but your man is saying that it's incorrect. So somebody lying.
Not even just Samson. His David Benavidez pops too is saying that shit.
They look crazy because the thing is too, people talking about Morel in his fights. Who else is Morel going to fight? He has nothing to lose. Not to mention he's an interim mandatory for Canelo anyway. So they're both at the same level pretty much. Just David did it in 9 fights, and Benavidez, being a former champion, got back to this level in 20 or so fights, however many fights he's had. So Morel got nothing to lose, so Morel may as well fight David Benavidez, and Benavidez ain't getting Canelo, so he may as well fight fucking Morel.
Morel talking that shit. He say, nigga, if you was in my hood, you get your shoes took, nigga.
Hey, man, Benavidez and them, they do look crazy. They look crazy. Because why would Samson come out and say all that just for you to come out and say, oh, I ain't signed nothing? Wait, what? Why didn't you check him when he said that shit? Because remember,
honest, I feel like this is what I feel like what's going on right now. They pushed hard for the Canelo fight, but they see the Canelo fight wasn't going to happen. So Canelo, he still did that deal with PBC, and now they're looking like, well, Benavidez, like, I get it, you're supposed to get this Canelo fight, but it's just not here. But we do got it, Morel right here for you. So I think we all agree that you should just go ahead and fight Morel. And Benavidez is on a situation where it's like, man, what the fuck? I'm your guy, and y'all giving all this credit and praise to Canelo, giving him new deals without me, type shit, and I gotta sit here and fight this killer. I feel it's looking like that. It's more of the team and the company wants this fight, but David's like, nah, what the fuck? Y'all basically set me up for failure.
What I'm thinking is, I agree, but I think it's much simpler than that. I think that now that Canelo's officially signed for 3 fights, and the fights the public at least doesn't know they're named, I feel like if they're not actually named on the contract, Benavidez doesn't want to put himself in a situation where he's fighting to be one of those 3 fights, because that's basically what it is. If it comes down to Benavidez versus Morel, could Canelo fight the loser? Sure, but that's usually not how things work. And I'm pretty sure the loser may not want to fight Canelo off of a vicious ass whooping, because that's how that fight's going to end. Somebody going to get torn out the frame. So I'm thinking that they're both competing to be a name on that list.
Real shit. And look, motherfuckers don't want to fight when they don't want to fight hard competition when they know they got a bag like Canelo at the end of the road, bro. You don't want to ruin that shit. This ain't the 80s, man. Niggas is not gonna be fighting, and then get the big fight. No, niggas want to chill. They want to take some soft touches. Niggas talking about Munguia.
Yeah, I personally think that Morel is a chance for David Benavidez to earn a lot of his hype. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, Benavidez is only really known for being someone that could potentially threaten Canelo. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. He's not really known as a killer in its own right. And being able to beat up Canelo at this point, even according to Canelo fans, is not really an accomplishment. So I think that Benavidez needs to earn some of that hype and come after somebody who's putting niggas in comas.
But nigga, that's easier said than done. I get it. Benavidez has a better resume, but nigga, I don't give a fuck. Looking at Morel fight, you can tell this nigga is not no fucking slouch, bro. The punch, just the basic punches that he throw, I can see giving Benavidez probably like a 1-2 straight down the middle, or using his legs to fucking do the quote unquote angles. Him doing shit like that will really fuck up Benavidez's game plan.
And also, people keep talking about David Morrell Jr., David Morrell's resume or whatever. Like Ados Y, your Boston Ali. That's like Canelo has literally fought people that are worse than that and been given a whole bunch of credit. Ados was undefeated. Had a pretty decent amount of knockouts. I think mostly knockouts. I'll confirm that in a second. And then he also fought Lennox Allen, who at the time I believe was undefeated. He fought Alontes Fox, who's been in the game for a long time. Someone that Andrade actually fought, and I think went the distance. But I think Alontes Fox didn't he not? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he knock Andrade down? Like I think he might have even been someone that knocked Andrade down. And then this Falco dude is the brother of the guy of the Falco at middleweight. So it's like just because these guys don't have the biggest names doesn't mean they're not relatively decent competition in his first 9 fights.
Beehive, it's not just like you beating them; it's how you beat these guys too. Right. The motherfucker, he put this nigga in a coma, and the last nigga, I don't even know what happened to the last nigga. He should have been in a coma because he looked like he felt every bit of that pain after.
In David Morrell's third fight, he fought someone that was 22-0. That's fucking unheard of. 22-0. Like, come on, bro. That's like an undefeated version of John Ryder, and he's fighting him in his third fight. It's like, come on, dog.
We need to get off this. Oh, these guys need to fight other guys to build their resume. How about these guys fight each other right now to see who belongs? If he don't belong in the ring with you, if he doesn't belong in the ring with David Benavidez, then David Benavidez should make easy work of him, man.
Especially if these dudes are in situations where they literally are not gonna fight shit else. Okay, y'all don't want them to fight Canelo. Everyone else in the division is either not affiliated with PBC or either not affiliated with PBC, just took a loss, or completely off the map. What else are they supposed to be doing? Y'all always complain about these dudes need to fight each other to earn something, but the moment it's time to get it cracking, all of a sudden it's no, none of these fights make sense. Okay, so what are we doing then?
What are we doing here? Man, all these niggas making these big ass paydays, testing themselves. You got no time to be slouching. This is the judgment year. Remember we was talking about it, D-Hive? I don't know if I was talking to you about it, but I was saying this is the year that is the judgment year. Like, you gotta fight somebody this motherfucking year.
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers getting
no more talking.
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers getting weeded out these last 2 years. A lot of the bitch dudes like Virgil, this is his opportunity to show that he's real.
Opportunity.
Because if he get washed, nigga, boy.
now Boots, he got his opponent that he's about to fight. Not saying that this nigga's some super killer or anything like that, but it's somebody that people claim poses some type of threat.
Right. So, and that's an important point. All the Boots critics, y'all certified via. So when he smokes this dude, you got to give him the appropriate amount of credit, especially considering he just scalped Rashidi. Even though I don't believe he was able to win that fight, it is what it is on paper.
Jeez, imagine if you Benavidez and got that Canelo back and you have no one else but to fight David. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be sad, man. I'll be fucking sad. I'll be pissed off if I was David Benavidez, because just thinking like, damn, I was right there to get this fucking fight, but I'm still there, but I gotta beat this motherfucker, man. And
I mean, that's a tough break. Benavidez had every opportunity to remain a champion, and unfortunately he was irresponsible. That's the cost. You set yourself back in your career, and now you got to pick off some contenders. In the words of Dave Chappelle, tough break, nigga.
and that's the shit
what's supposed to do.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all like to say, these guys are our brothers in the struggle. Well, nigga, that's some nigga shit right there. So you got to do what niggas do. And what do niggas do in situations like that? We keep going forward because that's the only way we could go. So I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to fight Morrell, beat his ass, and then talk about this Canelo smoke. Because if you're going to try to fight Munguia and whatever, nigga, go ahead. Good luck with that shit. Good luck with getting that fucking deal done.
And I'm not going to lie to you. Munguia looked like ass because his skill set is limited, and Deverenchenko is incredibly experienced and durable. Deverenchenko was someone that was able to take most of Triple G's power with very little issue. So, people keep forgetting that. But honestly, the version of Munguia that I saw against Deverenchenko at 168, I honestly like what I saw offensively speaking. And for people like David Benavidez that stand straight up for Munguia to hit, especially when he moves his hands really fast, you don't want to do some dumb shit, take a fight with Munguia, and Munguia make the shit look competitive, and you look stupid. That would be even worse. That not only does that reduce your stock and your credibility, but people like Morrell, they gonna look at you like some straight food, and you gonna definitely be out of the Canelo sweepstakes, even if you got a UD, but you get knocked down or some dumb shit. Oh no, like you might as well just wrap it up.
I like David Benavidez. I actually like David Benavidez more than I like David Morrell. But looking at it, David Morrell is a much better fighter in my opinion. I feel like he can beat him bad, pretty bad.
I like
not,
Benavidez
not
too.
just beat him. I think he can beat Benavidez really, really bad because I've seen it, man. In that last fight, even though that dude wasn't like all that, the way that he was able to just snap and turn on the pressure like that and get into that God mode and just whoop that dude so easy, like, man, it makes me feel like, dude, Benavidez, your defense is not the best. What if he snaps and turn up on your ass? Then what? Use his legs. Get out of distance. Get back in distance. Counter.
I like Benavidez and all that, but like I said, it's he looking crazy.
He is, man.
He's looking crazy right now. And the Asante L, I agree. I the way I scored the fight, I don't have my scorecard in front of me, but I agree. I do think Derevyanchenko was able to beat him, and Derevyanchenko was robbed. But that, Derevyanchenko is a very experienced operator. David, and he has a better skill set than David Benavidez does. David Benavidez stands straight up, and Munguia's hands get to flying. That could be interesting. I'm not saying I pick Munguia to beat him, especially because he's coming up 2 fucking weight classes, but that still could be interesting. He can get some shit off.
Ain't 2 weight classes, just 1.
No. Munguia was at 154 at one point.
Oh. I thought you were saying now he's coming up from 2 weight classes.
No. I just mean like he started off super small. But as y'all saw when he was in there with Derevyanchenko,
Munguia's still at that weight class. That nigga, he had like 2 fights at that weight class.
What, at middleweight?
Junior, when he was a champion.
Well, that's when he upset Saddam Ali at the time and earned his little baby hype.
Nigga, that was such a long time ago, and this nigga's still on prospect mode. What the fuck?
And it's funny and it's hilarious because Munguia actually used to compete at 140. His big ass used to be able to make 140. Then he went up to 147, then 154. So Munguia's been in a lot of different weight classes trying to weight drain himself because he's a bitch. that's what happens.
Man, Saddam Ali, where the fuck is that nigga?
I don't know. He could probably be dead for all we know.
Exactly. Like, bro, Munguia was on HBO days. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. If Benavidez takes that route, I feel like the folks still gonna eat him up and call him a duck. But then again, is it really a duck or is it just decision making?
If I'm gonna say
strategic decision making,
I'm gonna say this: if Benavidez does not fight Canelo or Morrell in his very next fight, fraud watch. Fraud watch. He on fraud watch. Like Regis been on fraud watch for like 2 fucking weeks, and I'm getting sick.
Nigga. Now, didn't I tell you about Regis for a while now?
Yeah, you and Julius both said he would hate
already. I'm like, bro, I don't know. Something about this nigga, man. Look. But he's a cool. I like Regis when he's fighting somebody that's not us, to be honest. I'm like, do your thing. But skill wise, when you talk about him compared to Shakur, Javante, you know what I'm saying, Haney, hell no. Nah.
That shit was so funny.
He'll get washed.
Oh my God, Haney's food at 145 seconds later.
They shut that shit up.
Idiots.
Oh my God. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. That's probably the most Haney praise I've seen on the timeline was after that Regis fight.
That shit was funny as hell.
Because niggas was like, oh man, Regis, I don't know. But his last performance, it was kind of like, how do you describe it? Was it good?
I think, it was okay, but I think he just didn't take that dude seriously. And I'm saying this because even I didn't. I had to go back and watch some tape the day before, and I was like, actually, this Sarria dude kind of got on Barboza's ass toward the end and has a decent right hand. And actually, someone else brought that to my attention on Twitter, and I had to give that person credit. I was like, oh, yeah, you actually right about Sarria. And then lo and behold, it showed us where he had. Regis was in there on some skates.
But regardless, I still want to see Devin Haney go in there and snatch his belt.
Absolutely. I think Regis, I don't know if Regis is still as confident about that fight, but I'll tell you this. Regis is no longer calling for like any of the 140 fucking champions. Not even Rolly, he ain't calling for no more.
This nigga is calling for AB, bro. And my brothers is like, man, you can't sleep on AB. Yeah, that's true. And the sad part is, in that fight, I wouldn't even sleep on AB. That shit might be competitive.
Man, I'm fucking sleep on AB, okay?
Man, I don't know.
He has fast hands, but the thing, my biggest thing is he hasn't been able to successfully make 140 since 2017, bro.
I know. And
in his last fight,
Noah Hearn and Don King, they'll make that shit at a catch weight.
For the belt?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying.
Regis, probably.
Regis full of shit.
Probably, but Regis not big enough of a name to really like.
That's what I mean.
Like, where do you even sell that fight at? Vegas? No.
Regis needs to earn. Regis is some dude who actually needs to put in a little bit of legitimate work. Since he fought Josh Taylor, he's taking his career off.
Bro, both of them niggas is looking crazy in the light right now.
Ooh, AB always crazy. That's just...
Josh Taylor and motherfucking Regis.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck Josh Taylor plans to do. He said, I'm moving up to welterweight. To do what? Cook? The fuck you gonna do? Get the water? You gonna die. You gonna get some more. What decent welterweight Josh Taylor whooping on? That nigga first fight at welterweight gonna be James Martin. How do I know? Because James Martin has no knockouts.
He'll probably fight Jamal James or some shit.
Jamal James fuck around and beat him.
That's a crazy. I know it, bro. Imagine him fighting Thurman.
Oh my god.
Thurman will probably stop Josh Taylor.
Yeah, Thurman will knock Josh Taylor the fuck out.
What the fuck? This nigga is tripping, bro. But he is a big motherfucker, man. I saw him like he looked drained like a motherfucker in that fight too. But it is what it is.
And the thing is, I mean, people have been saying he's been drained for a while now, and that's fine, but you cannot get around the obvious. You cannot get around the obvious skill deficiencies. When he encountered someone with power and athleticism, he froze the fuck up. And I hate to tell y'all that a lot of welterweights have power and athleticism. How are we being disrespectful to Regis? These are his actions. Regis is being disrespectful to his goddamn self by calling out lightweights.
This nigga want to fight Ryan Garcia. I could see him saying he wants to fight Devin Haney because, of course, Devin Haney's moving up to 140. And Devin Haney's in a legit position to be fighting, Regis. But we see that he's more aggressive when it comes to fighting guys that is not in a certain caliber of him.
And anybody hunting AB right now is clearly trying to avoid smoke. AB looks like a 2-pack of ass.
You telling me we should look at this guy and say, yeah, that's the nigga who turns down a fucking PBC smoke to fight Matias, but you want to fight motherfucking AB? We already know what time it is.
Regis signed with the company where he would be the only champion at 140 at that company. Why the fuck would you do that? Why?
You know what?
Why?
Okay. I can give him a break and say he had a bad night. But what was his fight against Josh Taylor? Was that a bad night too?
I mean, Regis was looking a little shaky against Zepeda.
Because and the Zepeda fight, because not saying that we want to see this guy fail in life. We want to see him lose his belt, by somebody's undeserving or something like that. Nah, I'm not saying nothing like that. What I'm saying is just based off skills and what he has accomplished, you can tell that if he fights a guy like Devin Haney, Matias, or even maybe Teofimo Lopez, it's going to be a very competitive fight on his end. And he might lose all of those fights.
Okay, now this dude is saying Matias was supposed to come to the zone. That was the plan. Why? Because Eddie Hearn said he offered him something that we haven't heard about since. Y'all say everything was the plan. Some of this shit is not fucking planned. Eddie Hearn would like to bring Matias there. But then again, let's review some history. Just because Eddie Hearn has 2 champions in a stable doesn't mean they're going to fight each other. Did y'all not just see what happened to Andre? He was sitting on a middleweight champion, had the entire middleweight division in his goddamn pocket. Andre didn't get a single fight. So the fact that y'all said, oh, Matias, it was always the plan for him to come to the zone, that doesn't make the situation any better. That doesn't make me feel any more confident that those two are going to fight. Because at the end of the day, promoters and all that shit, they can't force fights. Regis would have to sign on the dotted line.
Bro, bro, this guy, Regis could have been fighting this guy, Matias, on PBC. Notice that everybody's going to the PBC. All the Americans are going to the PBC. If you are still going to the zone right now, if you're not a free agent trying to cash in like on a one fight deal type shit, you're fucking crazy.
Even the phony, even the fake wannabe Triple G ass niggas are coming to PBC. Look, we got Butayev, Stayonis, Shishkin, all them niggas.
All the niggas, man. Stanosis. Like, come on, bro. Imagine Stanosis beats motherfucking what's that nigga? Virgil Ortiz. Then he comes back to PBC and fights another welterweight. Boots Ennis, the winner of fucking Boots versus Villa.
That's
for the mandatory spot to fight motherfucking Crawford Spence winner.
Nah, they moving up after this first fight. They better move up.
I know. So I'm basically saying like they'll be fighting for a belt.
Oh yeah, that's the dream right there. You know, finally put in enough work to get a championship slot. I mean, you're gonna have to bleed for it, but it is what it is.
I don't think what's his name? Virgil Ortiz beating what's his name? Stanosis. I think he's gonna get his ass beat the fuck up.
I honestly picked Stanionis before the surgery, but now I gotta reassess because they both we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Virgil. We don't even know if he's going to successfully make weight. Stanionis hasn't released any training footage or anything. I'm assuming he's okay, but you know, it's complicated. That's a pick 'em fight at this point.
Yeah, you know, that's true. That's true. We don't know what these guys are going to be looking like medically. They both have their own problems.
Yeah, the dude had his
appendix. But sometimes I'm thinking that shit. Never mind. I ain't even gonna get into that because
you're not the first person. You're not the first person to say that. That, you know, all of a sudden, on both sides, like Stayonis is looking super juicy, and conveniently he's overtraining. Yeah, you're not the first person to put that out there.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my dude Blunts Boxing. What's popping, man?
What's up, family? Listen to y'all brothers on this Saturday. What's going on?
How's it going?
Doing good, man. I'm chilling, and I'm hitting that fucking J-Rock fight tonight.
Are you going?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's lit. That's what's up.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm rooting for J-Rock, even though it's gonna be a rough fight.
I want to see somebody get knocked out tonight.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it's gonna end. I don't see this going to no scorecards. That's exactly how it's gonna end. Somebody.
And I'm gonna be front row watching that shit, man.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
I got you. You got Adamas in that.
My heart got to J-Rock in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Yeah. Intellect over emotions, though, my boy. Intellect over emotions.
Everybody know what that means? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll give a fuck. I got Adamas winning shit. That is what it is.
I'm rooting for J-Rock, though, but I got Adamas winning, but I'll be happy if J-Rock
You know what I'm saying?
Brett, man, his best talent might be convincing niggas to get themselves in compromising fights, because this is amazing. Like, he convinced, a few people. He convinced Chiron to fight Benavidez. He convinced Plant to fight Benavidez. Now he's got J-Rock with Adames, especially at the point Adames is after his career. Like, if this was right after the Teixeira loss when he got knocked down, okay, yeah, I can see it. But right now, considering, like, J-Rock fucking lost to a literal journey.
It's crazy. Adames, he lost to Adames. Didn't he lose already?
Yeah, Adames lost to Patrick Teixeira, one of the weakest champions of boxing, and he got knocked down.
That's so fucking crazy. How did he just turn up all of a sudden? Did he get new training?
He just came back with a vengeance like Ugas. Ugas, one day he just put his put his head to the grindstone and said, "Man, fuck it, I ain't going out." Like Kenneth Sims Jr. Kenneth Sims, he had to take a few years off, but he came back and said, "Nah, fuck that. I'm a boxer, goddammit." And now he back in the serious contendership talks.
And Art, I ain't taking a jab at you, bro, but that's what I be saying. That one loss don't define a mug, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we were just talking about how that one loss is, it's something. But for real,
who won loss?
We was talking about we was in another weight class talking about a division, and we was arguing over who, and all the guys was undefeated except for one. He was like, "Oh yeah, that one loss," and I brought up Jamel Charlo. I forgot who exactly we was talking about, and we was making a point of that one loss don't define. I
don't know. You talking to somebody else? I ain't.
No. This was the other day. Like when I think of the name, I'll let you know. But we was talking about that one loss mean a lot. We was talking about who's ranked up somewhere. When it comes to me, I will, but I kind of took a jab at you, like, man, you know them one losses don't mean shit. Look at Jamel, and you
I
was like,
probably said how the loss came about was my argument, because one
yeah,
loss.
I got to think of it who we was talking about.
I know
But
what it was. It was the Cambosos versus Lopez.
yeah, exactly, right.
And I
right,
said,
right.
yeah, look how he lost though. This nigga got dropped by a non-puncher. Like, man, what the fuck? Had his face looking all crazy. And then you talking about your esophagus blew up and you got air in your lungs. Like, come on, man.
I mean, who's to say that ain't true though? Like, who's to say he wasn't
Air
fucked up
in
for
his
real?
lungs?
No, I'm talking about like
air in our lungs?
his reasoning for his lack, whatever it was. It was some. It's a medical term for it. I forgot what it was.
Well,
But
they claimed he had asthma, but my thing is, if you want to say he has asthma, that's fine. But he started having more success at the end of the fight. That's
right,
what
yeah, hell yeah, right.
like it's the same thing with Lomachenko's shoulder. They said, "Oh, his shoulder was busted." I'm like, okay, then how come he started doing better at the end of the fight though? Like when you're supposed to be at maximum exertion, you're supposed to be tired and shit. He started doing better toward like the last 4 or 5 rounds.
And this nigga did a backflip after that shit. Like, man.
Right,
Man.
I feel that. But I was just saying that one. I was just bringing that up with the Diamonds. Like dope how he came back from one loss. Even T.O. is dope how he came back from that one loss and kind of shown who he is. You know what I mean? So
If we're being honest with ourselves, Josh Taylor should arguably have 2 losses by this point. He's been the benefit. And it's crazy because he's hardly been the beneficiary of home cooking. Like, I mean, shit. Both. Well, actually, no. Did both those fights, the Regis and the Catterall fight, happen in the UK?
I believe. I don't know if the cat. I know the Regis happened in the UK. Was the Catterall fight over there?
I don't remember.
I
I'll look.
think it was though. I definitely think it was. I can't see. We would have known if it was in America.
Man, Brother Blunt's Boxing, I want to get your thoughts on this motherfucking Charlo versus Canelo, because I'm seeing some recent footage of Charlo training, and he's still looking like he got that shit, man.
I think he's training with his chain on. I don't know what the fuck going on over there.
Say he training with his chain on.
He don't even look
That's just how
serious.
they do it in Texas.
He over there with fucking Steven Jackson trying to roll his shoulder. Like, what the fuck is going on? You shooting documentaries, or you training here?
Yeah, I feel it. I do feel that part, but I do feel Charlo got the skill set, and since he not coming off an injury, I ain't as scared for him due to inactivity. If it was an injury, I would feel indifferent. I would feel different about it. But since it's not an injury, I always felt like Charlo had the skill set to beat Canelo. It's his mental. Like the skill set ain't the part I'm really tripping off of. It's his mental, bro. Like
I think if his brother there
and Morel,
I feel like his brother gonna pump him up. For this
and don't he train in the same gym as Morel and Laura and all them Ronnie Shield guys? Yeah,
I don't think he'd be sparring Morel too much for safety concerns. I feel
that too. I definitely wouldn't either.
Yeah, I feel like you got to kind of probably separate them because you fuck around, Charlo end up with like Spence with a separated retina and shit.
If you was to fight Canelo, who would you spar with?
I mean, Deverenchenko is not that I'm saying that they fight the same, but he was a pretty good, sturdy guy for
stocky, smaller guy, yeah,
punching hard. Deverenchenko got a better jab, that's for sure. So
definitely, and he got a better gas tank too. Canelo, that's another thing too. Canelo be winded and gassed a lot, bro. I think Charlo can really demand that fight with that jab, bro. Because Charlo got a strong ass jab. I didn't see him drop 3 niggas with a jab, bro. Like that dude, he's a big tough dude, man. Like I said, it's mentally that concerns me with him, man.
Yeah,
and the mental part.
Yeah. And also, hopefully, this being a 3-fight deal, hopefully, they didn't go back there and give Charlo the talk. Like, look, man. Okay.
And that coincides with the mental part. Are you getting a check to lay down? Or are you just okay with?
No,
like, look, man, we got Canelo for 3 fights. It's just 1 loss. Let me make this money, and I promise I'll make it up to you on some shit. It's kind of like how Hearn did with Ryder with the Smith situation. He was probably back there like, look, bro, just take this. You already got some losses. Just take this L, and I promise you get Canelo next. Fast forward a few years. May Ryder versus Canelo.
He stood by Hearn. Hearn made it happen though.
Yep.
And you know what got me thinking too, man? Even the Manny Pacquiao versus AB fight. What y'all think about that? because that was the first fight on the PBC deal. It had me thinking like, man,
What, you think AB got set up?
I ain't got that up. I'm just saying like,
I think AB was scared to become a meme. I think he did good work against Manny early, dog. When he got hit, he started running, man. I think he just didn't want to become a meme like he did against Maidana. Like, I think that shit was really because I think Broner did good work catching him with catch hooks. Like, because Broner reflexes are great. His intangibles are great. But once he saw feeling Manny, when he felt Manny punch for the first time, that boy ran to the end. So I don't think he was on the take per se. But he knew he did have a big check waiting, regardless if he got knocked out or not. So he just played it safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that was a situation where Broner got PTSD, and as we can see, he's still barely recovering from the Maidana situation. Because AB's Maidana fight is the only one where I cast a shadow of doubt, considering the glove situation that Floyd had with Maidana. But but aside from that, I just think that was AB's fight to lose against Manny. All you have to do is throw some fucking punches.
That's all he had to do because the jab was nice. Manny was jumping in there stupid as he normally do. Broner jumping back, check hooking him. I'm like, good work, Broner. But around that fourth or fifth round, I think he tasted a little bit of that left hand, and it was just over. I'm like, damn, Broner.
how you see that Charlo Canelo fight playing out? Everything's on the up and up, or should we even look at this fight and think things gonna be on the up and up?
I think Charlo gonna get a decision. I mean, I don't think Canelo's. I don't think Canelo's the type to let himself be knocked out just on some pure, ego man type shit. And I think also once Canelo gets Charlo on the ropes and realize, and then see Charlo still thumping with him, Canelo gonna bag up, get back on his jab, and then they're both gonna keep each other a distance because they both have knockout power. So I think it's gonna be a Charlo decision just based on punches landed, activity, and also gas tank. Canelo just not gonna be able to throw as much. But
like
that also
the
depends.
jab, like you say, the jab too. Like that's a big point. Canelo ain't got a big jab, and if they gonna play the distance game,
I think that fucking counter uppercut might fuck Canelo up, bro, because Ryder was hitting Canelo with that shit all night. Like not a counter uppercut, but just an uppercut. But Charlo has that uppercut that you just might not see after you throw your punch. That might be the one that fucked Canelo up for real.
We also got to be concerned about Charlo's gas tank moving up to 168, carrying that extra weight, because sometimes that can have an effect. I don't know if y'all watch too much of him, but Ray Vargas is the fighter that I like, and we saw when he went up from 126 to 130, the gas tank was clearly different. So we gotta be mindful of that. Same with Munguia. Munguia went up from 160 to 168. His gas tank looked like shit. His gas tank was ass. He was terrible.
What about motherfucking Canelo's gas tank though?
Well, Canelo's gas tank been shit for a while. He just hasn't been criticized on it because he's been getting people out of there. But we saw Canelo's gas tank exposed with fucking with Triple G.
I feel like we seen it exposed with this Ryder fight too.
He's got a lot more miles on him. Yeah, whenever I'm critiquing a fighter, I try to use either their best or some of their best performances so I can really assess their weaknesses. I want to see when they're at their absolute best, so I can try to actually develop critiques, and then I compare that with the fights in which they just look shitty and evaluate the circumstances.
The best performance Canelo Alvarez had to me would have to be the Triple G1 fight. And
really?
The reason why I say the Triple G1 fight is because he was using his legs, he was throwing combinations, he was fucking slipping, countering, fighting off the ropes, and he still got a fucking draw. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, man, him fighting Charlo on his best night, and Charlo's best night to me was most likely, I would say, either the Derbychenko or the J-Rock fight. I feel like, man, if those versions fought, Charlo definitely win that shit easy.
For me, the best version of Canelo that I've ever witnessed is Triple G2. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen in a tough
Triple
fight.
G2 is because after in the later rounds, that jab was in Canelo's face all fucking night, bro. And I feel like that was really the fucking draw. To be honest.
I mean, that's fair. Some people have Triple G winning both. Some people have two draws. It's all over the place with that one. But I think that based on his punch activity,
Triple G winning the first fight and the second fight being a draw.
I have Triple G winning the first fight and then Triple G losing the second fight. I thought Canelo whooped his ass the second fight.
Yeah, Canelo started off strong, and you see they hate Devin Haney for it though. You see how Canelo started off strong, kind of faded towards the end, but then came back later and won the fight. See with Haney, they just straight up hating on that nigga. It don't matter if he won the first 2 rounds convincingly or ended solid. Nothing like that.
It's crazy because the hatred for PBC and the hatred for Haney is almost equal. It's nuts. And then it's funny because the same people that hate PBC keep saying that Haney needs to sign with them in order to get big fights or he's ducking everybody. But then also if he leaves Top Rank, he's ducking Shakur. It's like, all right, like pick a lane and stick to it, motherfucker.
Did you hear your man Eddie Hearn say that he feels like Leonard Ellerbe and all these guys want him out of boxing?
Yeah, I mean, if I was pretty much losing all my ground, had to constantly be bailed out by Ukrainian oligarchs, and all my stables getting washed because I can't matchmake for shit, I'd probably feel that way too. But I mean, just Eddie Hearn doesn't know what he's doing. Like y'all got to understand, Eddie Hearn is simply the son of is it Barry Hearn or who the fuck is his dad? But anyways, that guy is actually an established businessman in the UK sporting scene. He does I believe he does some stock car racing or Formula One and also some boxing stuff. So Eddie Hearn is just Trump Jr. Like he's literally just a rich kid. So he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because he's never had to actually work for anything. So he has no clue how any of this shit really works. That's why he sucks at it.
He thought if he just came in the game, start paying promoters, and then talk about it, that he was going to get the press and the fans to fuck with him. But that's not how shit works in America. We like to see shit happen organically too, man.
Yeah. Eddie Hearn has no fucking idea what he's doing. Hasn't known what he's doing for some time, and it's showing. It's very evident. So I mean, it is what it is. I personally don't care. I mean, Matchroom, most of their fights, if you look at them, it's a bunch of Western European novice fighters. Like I always ask people throughout the entire year, what DAZN fights are you excited about? Maybe you have one or two if there's Chocolatito or Canelo, but outside of that, it's a bunch of ass. Y'all didn't even care about Bibble's career until he fought Canelo. So don't try to say, "Oh, Bibble's been a killer for a long time." No, you didn't know that. You didn't fucking know that. Shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit.
Man, that's just crazy. I love the way that Bibble took a stand against Canelo, bro. I love it.
It's because of all the disrespect. I keep telling people that these fighters are now paying attention and they're responsive to what you guys say. And the Bibble was honestly pissed off that the fact that y'all assumed that the fight would be competitive. He's like, bro, I'm fucking huge. I'm gonna destroy this dude. Like, why are you talking like this shit is gonna be close? And now Bibble was willing to give himself a disadvantage to fight Canelo for the rematch, and Canelo didn't even want it. So it's like, bro, don't ever talk about this pussy again. Like, that's what Bibble was saying. He's like, bro, don't ever talk.
And you know what makes me like not really upset, but just makes me laugh is that Canelo fans they don't even see that shit. They don't see his actions and say, all right, this nigga really tripping here. Like, why would you do that? Why would you pump fake two niggas like this?
And then the Badu Jack shit is another example of what I be talking about. Nobody asked for that. Absolutely nobody. Not even Canelo fans fucking Badu Jack. He pulled that out of his ass. Like when have we ever asked to see that shit? When have we ever said, oh man, Badu Jack would be a good matchup? The only 40-year-old I want to see Canelo fight at this point is Better Biev.
Why would you even want to fight motherfucking Badu Jack?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know where he got that from because nobody asked for it. Absolutely nobody. Nobody was even people honestly probably forgot that Badu Jack was a champion at cruiserweight. And then at the same time, you're claiming that light heavyweight is not your natural weight class, but you want to fight 5 pounds above light heavyweight, 20 pounds below the cruiser limit. Like, bro, you're just making up shit. Like, you're just trying to get out of fighting some damn body.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I for sure thought that Benavidez fight was gonna be next.
I don't have confidence in any Canelo fight for sure being next because you just never know. You just never know.
Man, now that I'm speaking with you, I'm not even sure if the Provo fight is next. For real.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just because he has a 3-fight deal doesn't mean it's the fights that everyone wants to see. They can pull anything out.
Who is on the list that Canelo will fight that won't be that bad?
What you mean, like the list at PBC?
List that PBC or just that's not the main names, but it won't be too bad if he falls.
Well, if it's not the main names, it's going to be trash. But like I said, they got that dude from Showbox, fucking Shishkin. They could do that. They've already given them Caleb Plant, unless they plan on making some acquisitions in the next, between now and September. I mean, they could sign random dudes like Eric Bazanian and all these dudes from some of these dudes from Canada. They could sign a motherfucker like Akhmedov. I mean, maybe he's giving them Andre, or shit. Maybe he's giving them Uskatagi again, like trying to recycle his old ass. But or maybe finally giving Darrell that Canelo fight, because Darrell said if he doesn't fight Canelo, he's gonna retire. So maybe watch Darrell be his first fucking fight.
Oh my god, what if they make fucking Canelo versus Uskatagi first? What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, look at this dude. Like we know how he moves. Him giving us a fight that we actually want to see is usually shocking. Because even Bivol, like, nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for that. I definitely didn't ask for that. I mean, like whenever times get tough, he'll just make up some shit. So like Ryder. I mean, people saw Ryder coming because they're used to him fighting subpar competition, but nobody asked for it.
To this day, I still haven't even seen the John Ryder versus Jacobs fight. All I needed to know is Danny Jacobs lost that fight and Ryder won, and I just knew Canelo was going to be fighting him. I knew it.
Yeah, and then to be honest, Ryder to me really didn't even win that fight. I thought Jacobs was robbed by a round or two, but Jacobs was carrying him. Jacobs doesn't fight anymore. Jacobs is the type of fighter, you slide him a bag, he'll lay his ass down. He was carrying Ryder. He had Ryder hurt on shaky legs. He hurt Ryder worse than Canelo did.
He's the motherfucking miracle man. I ain't gonna lie, Danny Jacobs used to be one of my favorite fighters at a point in time.
Nigga has 30 knockouts, and it's like, and he no longer fights like it. He fights like he can't fucking punch.
Like he's like, did that cancer really affect him like afterwards? Like, or he just purposely not fighting again? Or is it just that he's just getting old?
I mean, shit, maybe his power ain't translating, or maybe he's being told, we need maybe he just, like, I believe he's just selling his name at this point. If you pay me enough, you'll have me on your resume as a fucking name.
Yeah, look at me. I fought Derevchenko and Canelo.
Yeah, but people keep forgetting that Prime Jacobs got knocked smooth up out of here by Pirog, a dude I believe who would have probably whooped on Triple G's ass. Because Pirog was one of those people who not only did he want to fight everyone, but he was one of those dudes. He wanted to establish himself as the best Eastern European fighter. He was like, all these Russian motherfuckers, I want their asses too. Hey, we ain't doing that countryman bullshit. I want all the Russians and Ukrainians and all them, line them up, and I'm smoking all of them. I'm gonna be the best dude from that region. And everybody was on hush mode, and then he had his back end and had to retire. But I believe that Pirog probably would have got on Triple G's ass.
Who you got in the fight? Canelo versus motherfucking Andre right now.
I mean, I've always had Andre edging it, and I think Andre will edge it like I've always said. I think he'll get a decent decision. Andre just got to be careful catching a looping hook because he's a little bit vulnerable to that, especially when he's on the inside. But I got Andre edging it. I mean, shit. If he lands that weird corkscrew uppercut just right, he might even get a knockdown out of this shit, just catching him off balance.
Hey, it's Lubin fighting today.
And Lubin, those two have had beef for years. Lubin has to win this fight, bro. Because Arias got a dub over Hurd, even though that version of Hurd, really ain't nothing to write home about. Arias do have a win over Hurd.
Unfortunately, he does.
Yeah, that's the reality.
What you think about I don't know. Lewis, he's a good fighter, dude, but I don't know, man. Don't he got a couple L's on his book?
He has 3, none by knockout though.
You think Lewis too chinny?
For Arias, nah. I don't think he's chinny enough for Arias. I mean, but that's the thing about boxing. It's physics and motion. So you catch on a bad punch, and you don't have to get knocked out to lose a fight. You can also just get knocked down too many times or have somebody stop it. So Lubin got to be on his game plan, but it's tough. I'm picking Lubin probably by decision. I mean, well, actually, Lubin can punch though. It's just his chin that's weird. So, I mean, hey,
Man,
I'm picking him by decision.
Has it been a year since he fought Fendora?
It feels like it, but let me look. Let me check the records.
That was brutal. That shit was brutal.
He fought Fendora. Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah,
he fought Fendora April 9, 2022.
Yeah, okay. What do you think about his face? Do you think that when you get injured like that, it's easier for that to happen again? I don't know how that works.
Well, his face, there was a lot of swelling. It looked like he had some, a little bit of subdural hematoma action, which I understand. But the issue is that he wasn't cut, so I don't think he'll have the same issues, because when you get a lot of cuts, it has a lot of scar tissue, and then you end up like Anthony Durrell, where you start cutting all the time. He didn't have a lot of cuts; it was just a lot of swelling. So I don't think that, unless he's getting hit and punched, in the same exact spots. I don't think that it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a situation like that where the swelling is going to be a constant issue. Because again, that's the only fight where his face looked like that. And I don't mean to be that guy, but Lubin raised some concerns about some potential glove tampering. And all he said was that in every fight, Fendora takes off his gloves immediately. But with that fight, he kept them on when they announced him as the winner, which is correct. So, as some could be weird. Some could be weird.
I know, because I'm like, dude, I ain't never seen. I seen Jamonte Clark take several punches from motherfucking what's his name, Fendora. He ain't look like that, but in a case like that, it's hard to argue because he does sleep people.
Of all the people that Fendora has fought, Lubin is the only one that's looked like that. And Lubin is arguably his best dub. So it's weird. I will admit it is weird. But I'm gonna leave it where it is. We can't confirm can't confirm anything. No one has seen the glove since, but those are the concerns that Lubin raised, and we'll see. It is what it is.
We'll see on another episode of boxing. But what do you think about the Adames fight versus J-Rock tonight?
I think it's gonna be like the usual. J-Rock looks good for the first, 3-4 rounds, and then Adames is gonna start putting pressure and landing. J-Rock is gonna start punching less and focus more on defense. He's gonna get clocked. He's gonna get dropped, and then eventually, either Bradman is gonna call it or the ref is gonna call it. That's how it usually looks, and
Man, I ain't gonna lie, he looks great against her. Like, that's like one of the best boxing performances I've seen from a boxer in a long time.
Yeah, and I don't really know how much southpaw experience J-Rock has. In addition, Adames is still pretty awkward, so I don't know how much southpaw experience he has. But that's also worrisome. And moving up in weight, maybe that's added to his durability. But again, J-Rock lost to a nigga named Vladimir Hernandez who had like 6 losses. So forgive me if I'm not optimistic, y'all. I'm really not. Not to mention Adames ain't playing. Adames talking about hunting Charlo and Janabek and won the title, and he's super hungry right now. And J-Rock is probably just, trying to pay off his last property or whatever the fuck. So,
you know that man Dominican, right? So you know what I'm thinking? He got this crazy power, man. You think something in the water? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you think something in that Dominican water, the same water that Michelle Rivera was drinking?
Anything is possible. There have been some issues with that particular bunch lately, so it could be because he sure disposed of Montiel like it wasn't nothing. He landed 2 good punches and that shit was over.
But then again, I was thinking, well, Montiel could be broken from the Charlo fight because Charlo threw 1,000 fucking punches.
Yeah, Charlo did whoop his ass. And I'm glad you brought that up. People keep using that fight as a metric for Charlo. So I not only did I watch it when the fight happened, but I rewatched it again. Y'all got to understand, fucking Montiel was in there doing a bunch of shit with Charlo he hasn't done with anyone. One of the main things was he kept switching to southpaw. He spent a lot of the fight southpaw. Montiel's an orthodox fighter. He did that to give him a better shot so Charlo couldn't knock his ass out. With Adames, he stood up in there orthodox and got smoked. Like he was, like he was probably always
like he didn't even have a chance to do that shit though.
Yeah, because Adames is not, your classical boxer. He just went in and dogged Montiel, which is fine. Styles make fights. But yeah, y'all got to understand why that Charlo situation was a one-off for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, Montiel was in there doing a bunch of weird shit he never did with anybody else. So, y'all gotta stop using that as a metric to gauge Charlo indefinitely.
Yeah, he retired him and all this old BS. You know what I mean? Like every fighter don't have.
I had one dude said Charlo was washed.
That's crazy. And then everybody don't know, but even Progress was just talking about how difficult it is to fight at home and how distracted you are trying to get people tickets and just trying to just do too much or put on an impressive performance instead of just doing what you do. You know what I mean? And that shit could be difficult too. That's why they say a lot of promoters stay away from home fights, because of that reason. But I ain't giving them no out. I'm just saying everything is to be weighed into account here before they get to writing my boy off. I hope he smoke Canelo and just kill all that. So what does Canelo deal go if Charlo smokes him? See, that's where I'm scared too, because
like they ain't making sense for PBC if that happens.
That ain't making sense for PBC. Like,
I mean, they still got some people he can fight and beat. It's just not as good as it once was. Not to mention if Canelo's over there, other fighters from other companies, with ample permission, they'll go over there to fight Canelo for a little bit. Like if you notice, what's his name, Gutierrez went from DAZN for a fight, and then he went over to PBC to fight Hector Garcia. So it's doable.
But is the allure still there for Canelo if he get beat by Charlo, especially convincingly?
I think so, because his fans are still going to pay to see him fight regardless, and they
like a Manny Pacquiao type thing, huh?
Yeah, they've proven they're going to support Canelo no matter what he does. They're not going to write him off. So, especially if they think Canelo's in a position to get another highlight reel knockout, even if they don't know the opponent, shit, they'll be there.
Yeah, right back on the bandwagon, right.
Yeah. Not to mention they're gonna do whatever it takes, especially if Charlo wins by like the skin of his ass. They're gonna do everything they can to devalue the victory. They're gonna be like, Canelo's washed. He was fresh off the Ryder fight. His fucking knee hurt. His mom was sick. Like they're gonna say whatever. So we already know that's coming.
Yeah, folks keep something to say no matter what happened. That's why I be telling Art, like, there's always one person who just want to say something, you know what I mean? Just because they got the platform to say it with no merit, no nothing. So you always gonna have that. But I got Charlo winning, man. Who I was finna ask y'all who you think, bro? HD against the big fight, Spence and Crawford. You got Spence?
I am going to save my pick for fight week. Okay. Of course, I want Spence to win with all my heart, but I'm no fool. I talk a lot of shit about Terrence Crawford, but I know what he's capable of.
Right. I feel the same way. I feel the same. I've been watching highlights. I'm like, that boy a beast for real. I just can't see Earl making a lot of the mistakes that I see Terrence capitalizing off of. Like these cats he's slick and he's athletic, but I see these guys just make a lot of foolish mistakes against Crawford. And one thing about him, if you make a mistake, he gonna make you pay. But I just think Earl is just so sound fundamentally. Not saying Earl don't make mistakes, but he minimized the risk by keeping that jab out front, not lunging, and just, even though he lunged a little bit against you guys, but for the most part, Earl is sound. You feel me? So I just think that's going to control the fight for the most part. And I've seen Crawford get stagnated by a jab by Kell Brook for 4 rounds. And Earl got one of the best jabs in the welterweight division. So I got Earl by knockout. I just want to know your opinion on it, though.
It's truly a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
But it could be a one-sided ass whipping depending on the night.
I see two, honestly, despite what I just said about Crawford, I really only see his W happening pretty much 2 ways, and they both come by knockout. And I see the only mistake I see Errol Spence making is when he's in the pocket trying to get work, Terrence Crawford is going to grab him, because when you're in the pocket against Spence, you cannot allow him to punch. That's how you get stopped. So Terrence Crawford is going to grab him, and then when Crawford tries to when Spence tries to disengage from the clinch, if his hands aren't up or if he doesn't back out of the pocket quick enough, I can see that uppercut doing something. But then again, if the uppercut lands and Spence don't go anywhere, it's over. Terrence Crawford is going to get destroyed. And also, Terrence Crawford's looping left hand. Like if Spence doesn't have his right hand up to the southpaw, and Terrence Crawford is able to land a left hand and something shakes. But outside of those two ways, it's tough because I definitely don't see Crawford outboxing Spence just based on activity. I really don't. So it's tough. We'll just see.
Yeah, that one between that fight, him and Spence and that Charlo been Canelo, boy, it's a great year. And then the Fulton New Way. I know you got Fulton winning. I don't think a New Way no slouch, but I still got Fulton winning. But I don't think a New Way, the hype sauce hot. A lot of detractors trying to claim him. I think he's kind of good for real. I think that's gonna be a good fight for Fulton.
I will put it on record that I am picking Stephen Fulton to win by decision based on nothing but the fact that he is American and I support him all the way. I am aware of Inoue's skill set, even though I don't think he's yet a top 3 pound for pound fighter. If he clips Fulton, sure. But that's why I'm picking him. I have broken down the fight and had discussions behind the scenes. I'm not going to put everything out there right now, but I am picking Stephen Fulton based on the fact that he is my countryman, and that's really all the fuck I need, to be honest.
Oh no, I feel that. That's it. I'm gonna keep real. I'm rooting for him first and foremost with that. But I was just on the boxing tip. You feel me? I just think he with a New Way not fighting no black fighters ever, bro. I don't think he realizes how much of a problem that is, bro. Like, it's just, for you to never even spar with one or get prepared for one, and you finna fight an elite one from Philly, man, good luck, bro. That dude, you know what I mean? It's going to be a hell of a match. But I do think Inoue is good, though. A lot of people just give him the slack because they trying to do the Lomachenko thing with him. And one thing I will say about Loma did have reputable names when they boosted him up there. At least he had some Gary Russells and some Rigondeaux and some Walters and shit on his resume. Inoue ain't got nobody. Like, these Paul Butler guys ain't really it. But I do think he's good withstanding that. You know what I mean? So
from an actual skill perspective, I'm more concerned about Stephen Fulton's flaws than I am about Inoue's ability. Because Inoue is nothing that we haven't seen before. However, I am concerned about the little pockets of space where Stephen Fulton is not on his game plan where a fighter like Inoue can capitalize. So I'm more worried about Stephen Fulton losing this fight for himself than Inoue being able to win it. Because if the little things I wasn't talking about didn't happen, I'm pretty sure Inoue fans wouldn't even be calling for this fight. Like, for example, I think that if Fulton had more concussive knockout power, fucking Inoue
he wouldn't be trying to fight him at all.
Right, Inoue fans would be calling this a cherry pick. They'd be like, "Oh, look, he's coming up in weight, and you're bullying him." Like, so I think the only reason why they're excited is because they see partially what I see. So
So is it a lose for Fulton? With that being said,
hell no, no, absolutely not. And it's specifically because these dudes have talked Inoue up to God status. So now, if Fulton clears him, you got to give Fulton all the respect. That's why I tell people to chill out with these people before they actually fight someone, because then you got to give the person that beats them a lot of credit. And then dudes all of a sudden they want to switch it up. Oh, well, he's been up a few weight classes, but it's like, no, then shut the fuck up. Then you can't say he's Billy Badass, but then when he goes up in weight and takes his first L, all of a sudden he was at this major disadvantage. No, it's not how it works.
And they kill me. Hey, people show pick and choose they arguments with weights and shit. He can go up all them weight classes, but Spence can't go up to fight Canelo. Like, and Spence ain't even moved the weight class shit. You know what I mean? Like, they come up with narratives every day, bro. But yeah, I feel the same way about Fulton. Even though you say somebody gonna have something to say no matter what, I just hope he get his just due for beating the New Way after they didn't put this man on top of the list for nothing. You know what I mean?
Like the winner of if Fulton clears Inoue, he's right under the winner of Spence Crawford. He's number 2.
Ooh, even over Devin?
Absolutely.
I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I have no problem saying that. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like look at the person that he had to go through, and like if Devin Haney had cleared Loma when Devin Haney was actually asking for him, when Devin Haney was 20, maybe there'd be an argument for a tie. But no. Lomachenko he fought. versus in prime
I would
anyway?
say it would be 1, 2, and 3. The Spence winner versus Crawford is number 1. Anui Fulton's number 2. Haney Loma number 3.
Right.
Usyk actually, but keep cooking.
I can't put no heavyweight on the pound for pound list. It's just
He
weird
came up from
because it's
well, he
like,
wiped out cruiserweight though. That's not act like he just came in and with heavyweight, you know.
man, you lucky my brother Julius ain't on here while you talking about this cruiserweight shit.
He was like, see, back in the days of Evander Holyfield.
Yeah. These niggas ain't shit. These niggas can't fucking fight.
Nah, the cruiserweight division, like it ain't a loaded name division, but my Gassiev is a good fighter, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Like in that last, Darter Coast, all them niggas some decent fighters, bro. You can't just write off that run like that. That's just like you wiping off.
I'm not right. I'm not right.
Well, Gassiev moved up to heavyweight and hasn't done shit since. We haven't even heard of Gassiev. He moved up and then he said he's retired, and then he said he wasn't.
No, I'm saying that cruiserweight he was good. I can't speak for his heavyweight run.
Cruiserweight he was pretty solid.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I gotta give Usyk some credit, and then getting 3 belts at heavyweight with a few bodies at heavyweight, you get that pound for pound status, bro. Unless you just completely not putting heavyweights on your list. Now, if we doing that, then I feel that.
The only way I would say Usyk is the best fighter on this earth, nigga, is if he goes in there and wash Wilder and beat Fury.
No, Fury is enough, bro.
I was gonna say one of them probably be enough for me. If you clear either one, that's probably
Fury.
it.
I know we rooting for Wilder still, Art, man. Hopefully he come back. You think he coming back for that December fight, or you think he gonna fight before he gonna wait out that bag?
This man Ruiz, I think he playing games, bro.
Ruiz ain't doing shit else. He better come on and fight. I mean, what the hell?
Take that L real quick. Who you gonna fight?
Especially because your wife exposed you and you're gonna have to be in divorce court in the next 6 months, nigga. You better get some.
Take this fucking fight,
right?
Andy Lopez, boy. You better get right with these marital affairs. Get this check, boy.
Yeah, she called you a crackhead and said you a cheater. You got to deal with that. That's nuts. She said you a crackhead, you a coke fiend, you blood doping. And you've been cheating, and you've been fighting on smoking weed. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna have some serious problems. You gotta figure this out.
My man Minnie Mill in the chat said, "Who's Munguia gonna fight next at 168?"
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit?
That's what I'm trying. Who cares about Munguia? Like nobody cares.
He probably need to run the Derevchenko rematch back for real. Like
my dude hit me up and said, "What you think about the Berlanga versus Quigley?" I said, "Bro, nigga, what are you talking about?"
Hey, look, it's so fucked up how you was talking about how DAZN, how people jump to DAZN. He trick bag Prograis and trick bag Berlanga with fighters that he don't even got secured. You know what I mean? Like
he tricked bag Devin too, but Devin tricked his ass back.
No, Devin got in while the getting was good. See,
well, Devin never signed to him. That's the thing. Devin never actually signed with Matchroom. He was just a partnership on DAZN while being a free agent to have his have his fights distributed. He was never a signed Matchroom fighter. These dudes are signing with Matchroom, acting like they can get fights. And I'm like, bro, Eddie Hearn has had multiple champions in the same stable, and the fights didn't get made. So it's like they make it seem like, oh, he's guaranteed. Like, look at Baumgartner. Baumgartner signed to fight that Korean chick, and that Korean bitch said, I'm not doing it. Now what?
Look how he did with Andre. He is the last piece to the puzzle of Canelo's Quattro Titulo's puzzle. That boy never got that fight. Boy,
didn't get shit. Yeah. Andre had to go to PBC, and he's about to be 36, 37 years old, having his first step-up fights.
A moment in time in boxing where Eddie Hearn and Canelo laughed at Andre right in his face. Your own promoter laughed at you, talking about you want to fight against Canelo. And now he wanna sit back and be like, oh well, they just want me out of boxing. Talking about Hearn. Nigga, Hearn is so
and you see how he low-key threw Canelo under the bus, saying how DAZN lost money for DAZN. I'm like, look,
I didn't read that. He said that for real?
Yeah, he said Matchroom made money, but DAZN lost money. And that's because DAZN was fronting the money, of course. You feel me? So you just the promoter, but DAZN putting up that bag. That's why they killed that $300 million contract at first. And go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. No, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying that you finna keep fighting writers. We ain't finna keep paying y'all for that. You already stalled us out on the Triple G fight. See, when they got in the game, bro, it was 2 fights they was really banking on, bro. AJ Wilder and Canelo Triple G, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
wanted AJ Wilder on their platform.
yeah. And I hate it didn't happen because the two things that happened in the meantime kind of fucked up the bag for real. But don't get into my theories about how they didn't want Al Heyman in that position of power because I can go there all day. But I'm just saying, I hate Wilder didn't get a chance to snatch that bag and knock out AJ before Ruiz got to him, and then Wilder had the little trips with Fury. I just hate they played so many games. Though I got a question in my mind: was it ever really real? Because I know the fear that they have for Wilder, and I think that's the fear that they always have for allowing Al Heyman fighter to really take the throne. You know what I mean? They try to fight against it as much as possible, bro. But look at the chickens coming home to roost, man. I'm watching Eddie interviews. I was watching it with my gal. She don't even follow this shit. I kind of gave her a little brief about what's going on. She laughing at Eddie because he just so befuddled and trying to give his he trying to still
got an interview of him talking crazy
on Fight Hype, the newest one. When he was just talking
okay.
about Canelo, just trying to explain what happened, how they didn't have no options for him and stuff like that. But you could tell he just butthurt, like damn, like trying to save face and talk high and arrogant like he always is. But at this point, what can you really say? You know what I mean? You talking about Triple G finna make a run at super middleweight and hope to get Berlanga. Like y'all scrambling over there, bro.
Didn't
Like,
this nigga make a song talking about ain't no showtime when Tank's gone?
that's why I quoted. Remember, I retweeted told ain't no sunshine when Canelo's gone, boy, crazy. And he hurt himself for real. I think Eddie would have got well received better if he didn't come over here with that pompous, arrogant attitude. You know what I mean? Like that, I'm finna take over.
They don't show transatlantic slave trade shit.
He just doesn't have a good track record of making the best out of his assets. He'll sign a bunch of fighters, and either he'll get them in compromised positions against absolutely nobody. He won't market them, or he'll have them on the shelf. He doesn't make the best of the assets that he has when he has them, and also when it comes to negotiations, he's probably not good. I mean, you see how he is with overpaying a bunch of people, not understanding anything, and also going back to what you were saying about DAZN losing money. That's why DAZN had to get the $1 billion bailout from the Ukrainian oligarch Blavatnik, because they're hanging on by a thread. And from a business perspective, do you know how horrible it is for you to have Canelo on your platform for 5 fights, and the person and the organization that distributes your fights hasn't seen a year in the black since?
Whew.
Like that shit is insane. Like
that's
it's like
insane.
It's
but
like,
I do think a lot of I think in America he came over here talking so much. I do think they probably blackballed him on a lot of levels. I just don't think Al, Oscar, Bob, and Steven is the people you need to be offending when you coming over here trying to make a mark over here. Like, and I'm sure they probably blocked him in every corner they could to stop him from. I mean, in addition to having an app that nobody really, you don't have a real
too much. This nigga came out and said, "I'm paying I'm paying media who ain't."
Right. I mean, he blackballed himself by talking all that shit about.
That's
PBC,
what I'm saying. He killed himself, and that's why I feel like hurt his promotional opportunities in America. Like I think he did.
This
good
nigga
with
got
AJ.
Dan Raphael fired from ESPN, bro. Flying this nigga out, buying them dinner and shit to cover his bullshit fights on the nights of fucking PBC fights.
Because if you notice, Bob Arum, Top Rank, and even Golden Boy, they don't care for PBC either, but they're not stupid enough to talk so much shit to where getting business done is impossible because they're aware of the actual dynamics. Eddie thought he was coming in.
Al Heyman been throwing events since the 80s, bro. He did Michael Jackson Bad Tour. You don't think this man got relationships with arenas across the country to just do shit to fuck with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? If he make a call and say, don't fuck with him, I'm pretty sure that call goes a long way for a man who's put on the biggest pay-per-views ever. You know what I mean? Like, it just, certain people, you just shut the fuck up. Like, even when Broner said that about Jay-Z, he had to retract.
He thought these niggas at PBC, the fighters, he thought these niggas was just going to come for a fat check and just leave Al Heyman after Al Heyman does the niggas so fucking great. Come on now.
Not to mention, Al Heyman has a multi-year solid relationship with the owner of the now defunct Pro Bellum, and I'm not talking about DK. I'm talking about Richard Schaefer.
Yep.
So people forget about all that. Richard Schaefer has his own stable of fighters, and Richard Schaefer has a connection with everybody. So sometimes when you're doing business with Schaefer, you're really doing business with Al, and you don't even really know it.
And you don't even know. And and straight up, and what was and it seemed like since all that DK shit started going on, the zone cards have gotten super weak. Not saying they had the best cards to begin with, but they robbed me for $250 in December, bro. There has not been one card that I have been excited about. The Laurelwood is okay, and I like the Bam Sonny later on, but come on, bro. Like it just seemed like ever since the DK shit hit the fan, bro, they cards have just gotten weaker and weaker. And you know it's deeper than what we probably know, but I'm just saying everything play a part in Eddie's failure. You know,
well, a lot of their stock can't come to the United States, so that's a problem.
Speaking of that, y'all see Sonny and fucking Josh Taylor? They can come to the States now.
Yeah, they probably
maybe they wasn't as in as the other ones are because Ben still can't come over here. Like
they probably gave up
Ben and
they probably gave up everything they know.
Well, no, because Ben has to come to the United States because he's not being sanctioned to fight in the UK. So that doesn't make sense.
I'm talking about Ben, the trainer.
Ben Davison?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he used to train us for that nigga probably deep in some shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of them guys who seem like super deep able to come, but I'm like Josh, people like that, maybe they weren't in as deep as we think as the others were. But
or they just, feign plausible deniability. Oh, how was I supposed to know?
Yeah, and then they're not on camera saying, "Can I hand my boy? Thank you for the deal."
all that stupid shit. Jesus,
man.
Even Kinahan's probably at the house like, this nigga here. Why the fuck?
But let me tell you though, like on some real gangster shit, bro. It's kind of Kinahan's fault too, because if you know you as heavy as you are, why are you on all these pictures and allowing people to talk about you on camera? That would be an undisclosed. Hey, look, don't bring up my name. Don't even say my name.
Because this nigga wanted to be P. Diddy of this shit, bro. I heard, bro. This nigga was on some this nigga, Mike Coppinger had full interviews with Daniel Kinahan and his lawyer talking about he was going to talk about his relationship in boxing. He was gonna come out and start talking and be like
that Sam Rothstein shit, bro.
But nigga, word on the street is that his lawyer told that nigga, "Don't do that shit. You're fucking tripping."
Nigga, I don't even. I'm not an ESQ at all, and I'm telling you tripping. You feel me? Like what the fuck?
I feel like he thought he was gonna come in and make the same transition that the mob did in the United States from overt criminality to legitimate business. But one thing he forgot to factor in is that these people were established in the United States and had kids here. You're not just gonna come over and put money and fuck up everything we got going on. Especially you doing dirt to American champions. Like nigga, who fuck you think you is? Like,
and then you get millions of dollars of untaxed money. Like from the U.S. and you ain't even over here. And I think that's why they took so much interest in them, because you are getting millions of U.S. Untaxed U.S. dollars, bro. They probably, because I've never seen. And not to even go into the criminal part, I've never seen the FBI be so concerned with an Irish gangster. You know what I mean? And I think it's because you over here getting money under our nose.
He's getting that money from boxing and starting. Yeah. And he was investing. So,
and HD, but what you my bad. Or I was finna say, and what's deeper than thinking you could just come over and do something? Y'all still active from the shit I read. Like your pops got caught up.
My biggest thing is the obvious relationship with ESPN. Sports and ESPN and marketing is something that America takes very seriously, and they don't want Kinahan drifting off into too much other shit like upending gambling odds when it comes to America's favorite sports like football, baseball, etc. So it's like once that relationship was solidified and you had to deal with, and you got tied up with ESPN, it's like, okay, you know what, we need to stop this shit before it spreads like cancer. This is getting into too much shit here.
And like you say, nobody reported on it. Only time I seen it reported was when Yahoo reported it like 6 months ago, and that was for some WWE shit. I guess they was trying to get Fury over her, and I guess they said it get quoted visa issues. That's the first time I seen a major outlet even speak on that. And I'm telling Art, imagine if Wilder couldn't go to the UK. Come on now.
That's what I said. Only Yahoo Sports was saying that shit, man. Kevin,
and that's because WWE said something. I think if they hadn't played a part and didn't say nothing, they wouldn't have said nothing. It's just that the WWE probably put out a press release talking about how they tried to get Fury or made a comment about it.
Nobody in boxing is talking about this shit. I mean, nobody.
One thing that's important to remember is that because I used to watch these cards, MTK Global through IFL TV on YouTube used to have a bunch of free cards that come on at like 2 a.m. in the morning. They had a bunch of different fighters like Gary Cully and all these random ass dudes. But as soon as Tyson Fury made established a relationship with ESPN, that's when all of a sudden the shit started to get federal. At least
And I can see
to
that.
my
I can
knowledge.
see that, bro. That's a good point you brought up. I can see that. This is the worldwide leader of sports, my boy.
I'm telling
This,
you, bro, Tyson Fury's 30 for 30 is gonna go fucking probably win awards. That's just gonna go fucking crazy.
If those people survive to fucking make it.
I was just gonna say that trial next year is gonna be very telling, my boy.
Man, and bro, I haven't been so looking forward for the future in a minute, man, because that shit's funny, bro.
I
Niggas,
just hope Bob lived to tell the story, bro. You feel me? Because shit, Bob.
Oh, Bob's depositions, if this ever goes to any sort of trial, are going to be epic. He's sitting on 100 years worth of knowledge. That's going to be hilarious.
And he was, as soon as that knowledge dropped, I mean, as soon as the info dropped about the shit, Bob Burnham came out
and that's why
immediately
I was
and
surprised.
said he paid him $4 million.
The first cooperating witness out there, because he was a former prosecutor.
He cleared his name. I'm a Harvard graduate, bro. I ain't finna go down. You know how many gangsters I dealt with in my time? I'm not finna wait till 91 and go down on behalf of you. Fuck out of here. You hear me?
Right. And as a former prosecutor, he know when the Fed's involved, that means they've been building the case for 2-3 years in the background already. He's like, we just waiting to see who's gonna lie at this point. So he was like, oh hell no. All right, yeah. So I paid him this amount of money, but I didn't know anything about the gangster shit.
And he could stand on it, and he probably, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm oblivious to that shit.
Bob is so funny. He said,
and he probably went to law school with the fucking judge.
Bob,
What you said?
nigga Bob said he didn't know what was going on, and then he said he thought that all that things that Daniel Kinahan was accused of was behind him, and he's a changed man. And he noticed that he started using bullying tactics in the boxing world. That was his quote: "Bullying tactics." What does he mean by bullying tactics in boxing?
Man, you know Aram's a fucking weenie. He was just trying to exonerate himself for, collaborating with a narco terrorist. But if the United States was under my governance, I'd try Bob Aram's ass for treason. You blatantly sold out the American heavyweight champion to assist a narco terrorist and aiding and abetting his profit acquisition. You son of a bitch.
Man, and that's why I try to
It'll be over.
That's why I'm trying to tell my dude Blunts boxer. I'm like, man, this Wilder Fear shit deeper than what niggas think it is. Like, just see how they played it out, bro. For a whole like 8 months, boxing and the boxing world was telling us how official the ring officials are and how they'll never let any type of cheating happen. Fans was really saying that, and notice how all the media was fucking talking crazy about Wilder, bro. They literally made a big story about this nigga.
Well, I still have to maintain what I said. I'm glad we got a third party here to discuss. I think the way Wilder went about it made him sound like sour grapes. I just feel like there should have been some type of valid something. Like, even in going into the third fight, how did your team that incompetent to allow a man to cheat 3 times? Like,
exactly.
And this is on your soil. This is your promotion team putting this on for the most part. I mean, I know it was split, but I'm just saying though, like, is DK that powerful to where Al Heyman not as powerful as DK in Vegas? Like, it just seemed a little. Not saying it couldn't happen. Boxing, I've seen stranger things, but it's just like, come on, all right, bro. Like, 3
How
times.
does he have so much leverage in Vegas like that? And
I
that's
mean,
the
you got
thing.
motherfuckers like Tay Jones on the squad. Anything is fucking possible.
You know what's my reply to that? You know what's my reply to that? Blunts boxing. It's the fact that he had Bob Arum, who had those plugs in Vegas like that.
Right, but I guess
It's still, I agree with you. It's still a lot of, I'm not saying Wilder directly because there was a lot of, emotions involved. And also he used the third fight. He gave him the option of the third fight. And when he signed on the third fight, there was probably a clause that of him, there's probably a waiver of any potential litigation after. So he traded the third fight for a potential lawsuit. But I will agree on the fact that there was a lot of incompetence on the part of Deontay Wilder's team. Not Deontay Wilder himself necessarily because of everything involved, but the team for sure some fucking idiots from the very fucking beginning.
How do you let that happen in 3 instances?
And I'm talking Diaz, Breland, Jones, y'all are fucking morons. And I'll say that to your face if it ever comes to it.
But
Morons, all y'all.
I gotta go to the top of the ladder. Even Al, like I praise Al with the utmost. Like, damn, you let your biggest
Nigga,
prize get cheated.
do you know
Honestly,
they
I don't
say
think Al cared, to be quite honest. I
they
think
say
that Al was just focused on the financial outcome for himself and the company, and win or lose, he truly wasn't concerned.
No, sir. I think with a Wilder win, that boosts the sport of boxing to another level, and Al Heyman benefits from that. I think that loss was a big.
but you know who? I don't think we should be pointing the finger at Al. I think we should.
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about the whole team,
No. I'm saying
all the way to the top.
I'm pointing the finger at Shelly Finkel, who is
Yeah, Shelly suspect.
who's cool with Frank Warren and all them folks, because they was in the slave trade together, like they say, making them slave contracts together.
Yeah, Shelly definitely suspect.
That's somebody y'all should be looking at, because because I remember them asking Shelly, so what do you think about Wilder accusing Fury of cheating? He basically just brushed it off like like he ain't trying to hear none of that type of shit. He's getting the third fight, da 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 da. Like he ain't trying to hear none of that. I'm like, interesting. Spoken like a capitalist. He don't give a fuck as long as we about to make another bag off the fight.
Yeah, Shelly's
I would
weird.
just hate to think the team allowed that to go down like that many times. Like, fool me once, but the 2-3 times, man, that just it sounds crazy. I ain't saying it ain't happened, but man, that just
You see, he
like
just posted up with. You see, he riding around with the strap. You see him ride around with the strap. Now I gotta protect yourself.
Because they're fucking idiots. I mean, you see. First of all, JD is people think he's like some seasoned coach. He's just a nigga that owned a gym. Let's get that straight. He's just a nigga that happened to own the gym where Wilder happened to train, and he held the pass for a motherfucker a few times. But Wilder is really the only even halfway notable fighter that Diaz has had. And as far as I mean, he blocked me at this point, but y'all see Tay Jones on Twitter. What I mean,
he blocked me too. I don't even have any interactions with the guy.
Exactly. Look at how he's managed his own career. Y'all think he's really up in there making real decisions with Wilder and the team? Fucking hell no. And if he was, that explains a lot of what actually happened. So hopefully hopefully he's no longer doing that. But look at the things that he says. He doesn't know anything.
Look at Muhammad Ali compared to Wilder. I'm not talking about skills. I'm talking about like what he brought to the table. Nigga had the Nation of Islam on his side to protect him against niggas like the mob and shit. Now Wilder, he only got niggas like Tay Jones and JD's looking at gloves and shit. You think
and still allowing it to happen? Oh, these gloves don't look right. Well, I guess we better continue with the fight anyway. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, look, they said, the gloves don't look right in the third fight. Fuck it. Well, Wilder just gonna wear horsehair gloves too.
It's like, yeah.
I'm like, nah, you niggas not serious. I probably would have got a charge in that bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just like look at the things that they be saying. Like he was going on, he focused more on BLK Prime and how grand they were more than he did the damn Wilder saga. He hasn't talked about it. He claims to know everything. I mean, the thing about this is that I have multiple people telling me that he allegedly knew how Fury was cheating. He knew what drugs he was using and everything. And even still, with all that knowledge, collectively did nothing. He didn't even try to get Wilder to use similar fucking methods. He just sat there and let it all happen. I'm like, so you coming after the fact, telling everyone on the internet that you knew the whole story to get some Twitter likes, but when it actually happened, you telling me with all that knowledge you couldn't fucking advise our champion correctly on how to move?
Man, and that's what pissed me off because
get the fuck out of here, bro.
I fuck with Tay Jones. I do, but on a level of just mutual respect. The thing is, I just felt like, man, I came out there. They should have had me come in the back of the camp with them too, bro. I pulled up on Tay Jones during the Wilder Fury thing when I went out there in Vegas, and I'm just thinking like I ain't trying to be on no friendly ass shit like, oh, let me come back there with you, bro. But I was just thinking in my head like, man, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I should have tried to get real cool so I can get in the back there and see what's up with these gloves, man. Because I just felt like niggas was not gonna take the proper protocol to stop that type of shit, bro, or even make a big fuss about it. They just let that shit rock.
Yeah. And full disclosure, my opinion of certain individuals does not coincide with that of Artman. It does not reflect the opinions of the channel. My opinion is based on my own observation and what I've seen over time. And what I've seen over time is that within that team, there is a level of clear incompetence, especially for people that have that much experience in the sport. Because I know y'all probably don't know, But Tay was a former professional. Fortunately for him, he got out of the sport because at this point, because he really probably wasn't going to do much and was only going to, accumulate brain damage. So good for him. But like y'all gotta understand that now commentating about this shit, claiming this inside perspective, it's just how people. Some of them pay bills at this point. I'm not saying he doesn't have a job outside of this or doesn't manage or whatever, but it's just for clicks. It's just for fanfare. It's just to accumulate a following. Because again, if you had all of this knowledge, why weren't you in the camp assisting things? Are you telling me you all were just so powerless against the mighty hand of Kinahan, who is currently withdrawn to the UAE at this point?
Man, it was very apparent.
What's up, Eli?
The only thing that pissed me off in my head is thinking like, why was I thinking that since Fury got caught cheating, he wouldn't try to cheat again? That was, I don't know. I kind of kicked myself for that shit.
I assumed he cheated again because he has a history of steroid use. I mean, just like Canelo, I'm assuming Canelo has still been juicing. He's just been more careful about the shit.
Bro, think about it. This nigga pulled the COVID card out on motherfuckers.
Right, with no symptoms.
And then went to the club, was seen in the same fucking casino that he gonna be boxing in later.
Literally. I caught COVID, got seen out at the club, and then when we talked about how he's trying to outrun the drug testing schedule because it hasn't had enough time to the half-lives are too long to get out of his blood, so he needs the fight extended. Everybody just ignored it because they didn't care. But it's like, again, if you're in Wilder's camp and shit, you need to be protesting that. You need, or at the very least, you need to be. There needs to be clauses in the contract to where if that kind of weird shit happens, he has to forfeit some of his purse, or the fight, doesn't happen for X amount of time. Or like I said, at the very least, if you know what methods he's using and what he's using, y'all should do it too.
And I feel like that mentality came in late. Because they said, okay, well, fuck it, we just gonna wear horsehair gloves now.
I'm not talking about the dumbass gloves. That was and the glove thing was idiotic too, because Wilder has a history of fucking hand issues. So why would you put him in the gloves where he's broken his hands multiple times?
Because
like that was a dumbass decision too.
They're probably banking on, oh, well, shit, Wilder got that power to knock him down. So fuck it, if he takes less padding on his glove like Fury, maybe if he hit Fury clean, it's gonna shut Fury down clean. But all that juice Fury was on, nigga, ain't no way.
Exactly. Not to mention Fury came in heavier. He came in fucking damn near heavier than he's ever been. So again, it's just a lot of ignorance. It's just a lot of ignorance on their part. Motherfuckers think they know something, trying to be like, oh, I'm in the camp. I'm on the inside. Boo, boo, boo. But okay, if you're on the inside, where the fuck is your knowledge at? Where the fuck is your knowledge?
But maybe, just maybe, niggas got families and shit like that. Ain't no telling, bro, who that guy DK reaching out to.
That's true, because I definitely believe. I definitely believe that when it comes to the whole Breland situation, especially the way Breland was talking post fight, yeah, there might have been some animosity.
Breland, it was animosity built up. Breland said, and JD so damn stupid. If Fury put something in there, he wouldn't catch it anyways.
Right.
That's what he said. I'm like, what the fuck? Nah, yeah. Got motive to say some shit. Hey, but that's in the past. Well, 2024 March, we gonna see what the fuck gets revealed. But anyways, man, I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah, I'm definitely watching that fight tonight, man. I'm gonna let you know how it goes.
Right,
afterward.
For sure.
All right, stay blessed.
All right, thanks for having me. You have a good one.